One of the things you need to do when you move to a new town is you need to decide how to get from one place to another. While my little ones would sleep in the car, I would just drive around and try to figure out how one street connected to the other street, how to get from here to there. And one day when I was doing that, I saw a sign with an arrow pointing up a hill that said pumpkin patch this way. So we hopped out of the car. The kids were so excited to see all of the pumpkins, and we got a little wagon and started taking pictures and looking at the scarecrows and talking about the different sizes of the pumpkins. And then I noticed that the wind started to blow and it was a little overcast. I still didn't worry about that much. Coming from Mississippi, a few raindrops never hurt anything. And then the snow started coming down. And I realized that we needed to get in the car and we needed to go home. So I put the baby, he was 7 months old, Preston, I put him down on the ground so that I could pick the pumpkins up and put them into the wagon. And of course there's a 4-year-old in the mix who thinks that she needs to help pick up the pumpkins and needs to change this pumpkin for that pumpkin. So I was trying to hurry and go as fast as I could. And I remember hearing Preston start to cry. So I looked down and his little hands were red and puffy and swollen. And hands never look like that in Mississippi. So of course in my dramatic mind, all I can think of is he's gotten frostbite. His hands are not going to be okay. He's crying. He's hurt. I'm a terrible mother. This is a disaster. I can't do this. And this is when my little tears just started to run down my cheeks, and it was just all too much. And then that's when the help came from the little shed that they have, and they were so helpful and immediately reassured me that his hands were going to be fine. This is common in Missoula. Lots of children have little red, cold, chubby hands during the winter when they don't have mittens on, and escorted us quickly into the little shed that had the heaters. So as I'm walking into the shed, and both of my children are still crying, and I am still crying, I can just hear the reassuring words of the young lady who was there. The husband had gone immediately to load up the pumpkins, crank the car, make sure it was warm. And I remember feeling her arm around my shoulder. I remember hearing her words. And then she immediately knew, let's give the children cookies. That's going to stop all the crying. And then she angled the heater my way. And then she just started talking. And I wish to this day that I knew who this couple was. They made such an impact on our day. They completely changed the way that I was feeling. And they're the reason that I took I can't remember if it was a bulletin or it was something that had the times of the services here at the church. And I took that with me. And when my husband came home, it was the first thing I said was, we have to go to this church. This is the church for us to go to.